Blood splattered across the kitchen walls like red paint. The sound of a baby crying echoed through the tiny house. In the middle of the floor lay Sheriff Douglas Grant, his badge cracked and his chest carved open, as if someone had tried to rip the truth out of him. Standing over him, holding a bloody kitchen knife, was a teenage girl, barefoot, shaking, and still wearing her prom dress. Her belly, round and heavy with child, made her look like anything but a killer. Her name was Jasmine Carter. She was 17, and she was pregnant with the sheriff's baby. The front door swung open, and neighbors screamed when they saw the scene. Police sirens wailed in the distance. Jasmine didn't run. She didn't cry. She looked up with wide, empty eyes and said, "He said he was going to take her away from me." And then she dropped the knife. 3 months earlier, the town of Cold Hollow was quiet, dusty, and run by men who thought they were kings. Sheriff Grant had been re-elected 3 times. People said he kept crime low, but everyone knew he chose what crimes mattered. He was tall, strong, with graying hair, and a voice that could calm a barking dog. But there was something behind his smile, something cold. Jasmine Carter lived on the edge of town with her mum, a nurse who worked night shifts. Jasmine was smart, loved poetry, and dreamed of going to Howard University. She wasn't like the other girls. She didn't hang out at the mall or take selfies every 5 minutes. She liked books, rain, and walking home alone. That's how he noticed her. It started with a ride home. "You shouldn't be walking this late," Sheriff Grant had said, pulling up beside her in his cruiser one evening. Jasmine hesitated. "I'm fine, sir." "It's dangerous out here," he said, with a warm smile. "Hop in. I'll get you home safe." That first ride turned into a second, then a third. Soon, Jasmine was riding in his cruiser almost every evening. He started bringing her snacks, cherry slushies, her favorite. He listened when she talked about college, about how hard things were at home. He told her she was special, different. At first, Jasmine thought he was just being kind. A father figure, maybe. Her own dad had left when she was little, but then he touched her hand once when handing her a bottle of water. His fingers lingered. He looked at her differently. It made her nervous, but she didn't stop getting in the car. By the time spring rolled around, the rides had turned into long talks in his office, behind locked doors, then kisses. Then more. He told her he loved her. "I'll take care of you," he whispered once, his hand resting on her stomach. No one has to know. But someone did know. Her best friend, Tasha, had noticed the changes. Jasmine was quiet, always tired, and once Tasha saw her come out of the sheriff's cruiser late at night, hair messy and face red. Tasha asked questions, but Jasmine didn't answer. Then, Jasmine missed her period. She took a test in the school bathroom. 2 lines. She texted him, "I'm pregnant." He didn't reply for hours. That night, he showed up at her window instead of texting back. His face was pale. His voice was low. "This can't get out," he said. "You understand me?" Jasmine nodded, scared. "I'll take care of you, like I promised, but this has to stay between us." And for a while, it did. Jasmine started wearing hoodies to school. She lied to her mum about the stomach aches. Tasha grew more suspicious, especially when Jasmine stopped talking to her. But secrets have a way of leaking. It was the school nurse who noticed. During a routine checkup, she asked Jasmine if she was feeling okay. Jasmine tried to lie, but broke down, crying. The nurse called her mother. The next day, her mum took her to the doctor. And just like that, the truth started to crack open. "Who's the father?" her mother asked, crying in the parking lot. Jasmine said nothing. "Is it someone from school? Please, baby, just tell me." But Jasmine couldn't. She was scared of what Sheriff Grant might do. He had guns, power. He said no one would believe her. The sheriff visited her again that night. "You didn't tell her, right?" Jasmine shook her head. "Good. You did the right thing." Then he kissed her belly. "It's our little secret. But secrets don't stay buried in small towns." 2 weeks later, Jasmine's mum found a burner phone hidden in her backpack. The texts between her and the sheriff were still there. She didn't say a word. She just printed every message, every photo, and took it to the mayor. The mayor, a man in his 60s who'd played golf with Grant every Sunday, called a meeting behind closed doors. "This cannot get out," he said, slamming the papers on the table. "He's got a child with a minor," one council member whispered. "He's done," said another. But Sheriff Grant wasn't done. He showed up at Jasmine's house the next night, this time angry. "You told someone." "No, I didn't." "Don't lie to me," he shouted. She backed up, holding her stomach. He stepped closer. "They're going to ruin me, Jasmine, everything I worked for. You said you'd protect us. I will, but you have to help me." "How?" "Say it was someone else. A boy from your school. Anyone. Just not me." Jasmine couldn't believe it. "You want me to lie?" "I need you to." She shook her head. "No." His eyes changed, cold and sharp. "You don't get to say no to me." He left that night, slamming the door so hard the window cracked. Jasmine locked every door in the house. She didn't sleep. The next morning, her mum was gone. Her shift had ended, but she hadn't come home. Jasmine called the hospital. They said she never showed up for work. Then she saw the message on her phone. A picture of her mum, tied to a chair, gagged. And the text, "Lie or she dies." Jasmine fell to the floor, screaming. At night, she didn't eat. She didn't cry. She just sat in the kitchen, holding the phone, staring at the photo. At 2 a.m., she heard a knock at the back door. It was the sheriff. He wasn't in uniform. He was sweating, eyes bloodshot. "You did this," he said. "I trusted you. Where's my mum? I told you to lie. I want my mum back. She's fine for now. Let her go." He pulled out a piece of paper. "Sign this. Say it wasn't me." She looked at the paper. It was a statement. A lie. "No." He stepped closer. "If you don't, you'll lose everything." "I already have." Then she grabbed the kitchen knife. He laughed. "You think you're going to hurt me with that?" "I don't want to hurt you," she said, tears running down her face. "I just want this to stop." He reached for her arm, and that's when everything snapped. She screamed, slashed, stabbed. He stumbled back, eyes wide. Blood poured from his chest. He fell to the floor, choking. "I didn't want this," she whispered, dropping the knife. The baby kicked inside her. Then, footsteps outside, a loud knock at the front door. "Police! Open up!" Jasmine froze. Who had called them? Were they here to arrest her? Or had the sheriff sent back up. Before she could move, the door burst open, and the person standing there wasn't wearing a uniform. It was someone Jasmine hadn't seen in years. Someone she thought was long gone. Someone who whispered, "He told me you needed help." Jasmine blinked hard, thinking maybe her eyes were playing tricks on her. The hallway lights flickered as the person stepped closer. Tall, with deep brown eyes and long locks pulled into a bun, the man looked like he belonged to another life. Jasmine's chest tightened. "Marcus?" she whispered. It had been nearly 3 years since she'd seen her older brother. He left town after getting into a fight with Sheriff Grant. Said he couldn't stay in Cold Hollow, not with how things were. Their mum barely mentioned him since, but Jasmine always remembered the way he protected her as kids, standing up to bullies twice his size, calling her Jazz the Genius. Now he was here, staring down at the blood, the body, the shaking knife on the floor. "What the hell happened?" he said, rushing forward. Jasmine couldn't speak. Her hands were trembling. The baby was kicking again, as if sensing the storm. Marcus looked around quickly, closing the door behind him. "Jazz, talk to me." "I didn't mean to," she stammered. He came in. He threatened Mom. He wanted me to sign a lie." Marcus's jaw clenched. "Where is Mom?" "I don't know. He sent me a picture. Said he'd kill her if I didn't lie about the baby." Marcus bent down beside the body, checking for a pulse. "He's gone. You killed the sheriff." Jasmine stepped back, her breath coming in short gasps. "I didn't mean to. He grabbed me. I was scared. He was going to take her. He said... Marcus stood up, wiping blood from his hands with his shirt. "Okay, listen to me. You didn't do anything wrong. You hear me?" Jasmine's eyes widened. "I stabbed him." "Because he was threatening you. You were protecting yourself. You were protecting the baby." She shook her head. "No one will believe me." "I do," he said. He grabbed his phone. "We need to find Mom, now." "But what about him?" she said, pointing at the sheriff's body. "What if someone finds him here?" "They will," Marcus said. "But we'll be long gone." He looked at her belly, then back at her eyes. "Can you move?" "I think so." He helped her up gently, leading her to the back door. The night air was cool, and everything outside was still. Too still. As they reached his car, Jasmine asked, "How did you know to come?" Marcus looked at her. "I got a call from a blocked number. Just a voice that said, 'Your sister's in danger. She's pregnant.' Sheriff Grant's the father." Then they hung up. Jasmine's mouth dropped. Who would say that? "I don't know, but I didn't stop to ask. I drove all the way from Atlanta. Been in town less than an hour." He opened the car door for her. "Let's go find Mom." They drove for 15 minutes before Marcus pulled over in front of an old auto repair shop. Locked up and dark. "This is where we used to hang out," he said, "back in high school. If the sheriff's hiding someone, it won't be in a jail or an office." He was always clever like that. He knew how to use places no one would think to check. Jasmine was quiet, staring out the window. "I feel like I'm dreaming." "You're not," Marcus said. "But we're going to get through this." They got out of the car and approached the side entrance. Marcus pulled a crowbar from the trunk and pried the door open. Inside, the shop smelled like grease and dust. It was pitch dark except for a dim bulb swinging from the ceiling. They crept through the main garage and into the back office. That's when Jasmine heard something. muffled, weak, like someone trying to cry through tape. "Mom!" she shouted. "Shh," Marcus whispered, holding her back. He pointed to a storage room door. The sound was louder now. Jasmine could hear her mother's soft cries. Marcus pushed the door open slowly. Inside, tied to a chair with duct tape over her mouth, was their mum. Her eyes filled with tears as she saw them. Jasmine rushed forward and hugged her, sobbing. Marcus cut the tape and freed her hands. She ripped the tape from her mouth and gasped. "He said he was going to kill me if you didn't lie," she whispered, holding Jasmine's face. "I'm so sorry, baby. I tried to fight." "It's okay," Jasmine said. "We're here now." Marcus helped them both back up to the car. As they drove, he said, "We need a plan." "We go to the police," Jasmine said. "Jazz." "Tut, hey, are the police? You think Sheriff Grant did this alone? He had people, friends in the department." Her mother nodded. "The mayor was covering it up. I heard them. They were trying to make it all go away." Marcus slammed the steering wheel. "That bastard!" Jasmine looked down at her stomach. "Then what do we do?" "We go public," he said. "We tell the whole town. Social media, news, everything." "They'll arrest me," Jasmine said quietly. "Not if we get ahead of it." "But I killed him. In self-defense," Marcus replied. "You're a minor. He was abusing you. You were protecting yourself and your unborn child." Jasmine still looked unsure. Her mum put a hand on her shoulder. "We'll do it together. We'll tell them the truth." Marcus nodded. Let the world know who the sheriff really was. They drove to an old motel outside of town. Marcus had a contact, a friend from his old days, guard in Cold Hollow, named Trina, who worked in news. She owed him a favor. He knocked on her door at 2 a.m. When she saw him, she gasped. "Marcus, I need your help." An hour later, the room was lit with phone cameras and recording lights. Trina set up everything. Jasmine sat on the edge of the bed, her hands in her lap. Marcus gave her a nod. "You're ready?" And Jasmine began. "My name is Jasmine Carter. I'm 17. I'm pregnant. And the father is Sheriff Douglas Grant." She told the story, all of it, from the rides to the texts, to the threats, to the final night. When she finished, Trina looked like she'd been hit by a truck. "Jesus," she whispered. "I want people to know what he did to me," Jasmine said. "I don't want to hide anymore." Trina uploaded the video. It went live at 4:06 a.m. By 4:30, it had over 100,000 views. And at 4:42 a.m., the motel phone rang. Marcus answered. "Hello?" A deep voice said, "You've made a big mistake." "Who is this?" "Sheriff Grant wasn't working alone. And now, you've made enemies." The line went dead. Marcus turned to Jasmine and her mum. "We need to go now." He opened the door, and there, standing in the parking lot, were 2 black SUVs. Their lights flicked on. The doors opened. Men in suits stepped out, cold faces, hands on their belts. Jasmine froze. One of the men raised a megaphone. "Jasmine Carter, you are wanted for the murder of Sheriff Douglas Grant. Come out with your hands up." Marcus cursed under his breath. "They came fast." "I thought the video would protect us," Jasmine whispered. "It made them desperate," her mum said. Marcus looked around. "Back door." Move. They ran to the back, slipping through a broken fence and into the woods behind the motel. Helicopters were already in the air. Flashlights danced through the trees. Dogs started barking. "They're going to catch us," Jasmine cried. Marcus grabbed her hand. "Not if I can help it." And just then, a gunshot rang out. A sharp, loud pop. Jasmine screamed and dropped to the ground. "Jazz!" Marcus yelled. She was clutching her side. Blood leaked through her dress. Jasmine lay on the forest floor, gasping, her hands soaked in blood. Her face twisted in pain, and her eyes rolled toward Marcus. "I can't breathe. Stay with me." Marcus dropped to his knees beside her, yanking off his hoodie and pressing it against the wound. "You're going to be okay. Just keep breathing, Jazz, you hear me?" Her mother knelt down too, panic in her voice. "Baby, you listen to your brother. Just hold on, okay? Please, hold on." The forest echoed with dogs barking and men shouting orders. Flashlights sliced through the trees like lightning. "We can't stay here," Marcus said, his voice low but firm. "They'll find us in seconds." "But she's bleeding," her mother cried. "I know, I'm not leaving her." He scanned the woods and spotted an old drainage tunnel nearby, partly hidden behind fallen branches and thick weeds. "There," he pointed. "We carry her in there. It's dark, narrow. They won't see us right away." He lifted Jasmine into his arms, her blood warm on his chest. Every step he took felt like a countdown. Inside the tunnel, it smelled like rot and mud. Water dripped from the ceiling, and rats scurried in the shadows. Marcus laid Jasmine down carefully and pressed his hoodie harder on the wound. Her breaths came in sharp, shallow puffs. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen." Marcus looked her straight in the eyes. "Don't you dare apologize. None of this is your fault. You hear me?" Jasmine nodded weakly. "I'm scared." "I'm not, 'cause I got you." Her mother sat beside her, brushing sweat-drenched hair off her forehead. "Stay with us, baby. Just stay awake. Talk to us." Jasmine looked between them. I think my water broke." Both Marcus and her mother froze. "What?" her mom asked. "I think the baby's coming," Jasmine said, her voice trembling. "Oh, God," her mum whispered. "Not now. Not like this." A new panic swept over them. Jasmine was bleeding, shot, and now in labor. It was too soon. At least 5 weeks early. Marcus pulled out his phone, hands shaking. "We need help. Real help." He called the only person he could think of. "Trina, it's Marcus. Are you insane? The motel's crawling with feds. She's been shot, and she's in labor." Silence. "Where are you?" Marcus told her. "I'll find a way to get to you. Just don't let her die." 10 minutes later, voices passed near the tunnel. "She went this way. I see blood. Fresh. We got 'em cornered." Marcus held his breath, crouching low. Jasmine whimpered softly. Footsteps crunched over leaves, then paused right outside the tunnel. "I think I saw something move." A flashlight beamed directly at the tunnel entrance. Marcus reached for the metal pipe near his foot. If they entered, he'd fight. Suddenly, gunfire rang out, not at them, but away in the distance. Another voice shouted, "Suspect spotted near the highway. Move!" The footsteps ran off, boots slapping hard against the dirt. It was a diversion. 10 minutes after that, headlights flashed through the trees. A silver van rolled up near the tunnel. "Marcus!" Trina called from the driver's seat. "Get in!" He carried Jasmine to the van, while their mum climbed in behind them. The back of the van had blankets, medical supplies, bottled water. Trina had thought ahead. "You came through," Marcus said. Trina gave a small nod. "Get her comfortable. I called a doctor I trust. He doesn't ask questions. He's waiting at a safe house 2 towns over." As they sped off, Marcus held Jasmine close. She gripped his arm, face pale. "Don't let them take her." "They won't," he whispered. But he wasn't so sure anymore. The safe house looked like an abandoned church from the outside, overgrown grass, broken steps. But inside it was stocked. Medical beds, emergency lights, even baby supplies. Dr. Levy, a grey-haired black man with thick glasses, was already there. "She's in labour and she's been shot," Marcus said, carrying Jasmine inside. Dr. Levy's eyes widened. "Then we don't have time. Get her to the table." As he worked, he muttered, "You said she was 17? "Yeah." "And the sheriff is the father?" "Yes," Marcus said. Dr. Levy shook his head. "My God!" Jasmine moaned in pain. Her mother held her hand while Marcus paced. Dr. Levy examined the wound. "The bullet grazed her side. She's lucky. Missed everything vital." "She's bleeding bad," Marcus said. "She's in labour too early," Levy added. "But the baby's coming either way. Can she survive this?" The doctor didn't answer. That was enough of an answer. They worked fast. Hours passed, in pain and panic. Then, at 9:17 a.m., a baby's cry filled the room. "It's a girl," Dr. Levy said. Jasmine turned her head weakly. "Can I see her?" The doctor placed the baby in her arms. She smiled faintly. "She looks like..." Then her eyes fluttered shut. "Jasmine?" her mum cried. "Jasmine!" Dr. Levy checked her vitals. "She's alive, but she's unconscious." They worked to stabilize her. IV drips, blood transfusion. "She lost too much," the doctor said, "but she's strong." Marcus sat down beside her and whispered, "You made it." Outside the safe house, the world was on fire. The video had gone viral. News channels were reporting it all. An underage girl impregnated by the sheriff, then forced to defend herself in a bloody attack. People were protesting outside the Cold Hollow courthouse, chanting Jasmine's name. But the mayor and his circle were spinning lies, calling her unstable, claiming the sheriff was being blackmailed. Even worse, the governor had ordered a statewide manhunt for Jasmine. They said she was armed and dangerous. They showed her mugshot from 2 years ago, when she'd been caught with weed in her backpack. Never mind that she didn't even smoke, and that the weed had belonged to her ex-boyfriend. They were trying to ruin her. Trina turned off the TV and looked at Marcus. "You need to do something big." "Like what?" "Prove she's not the only victim." Marcus blinked. "You think there are more?" "I know there are," Trina said. "I've already gotten 2 anonymous messages since the video. Girls who said the sheriff tried the same thing on them. But they were too scared to come forward." Marcus stood up. "Then we go find them." "No," said a voice from the doorway. It was Jasmine's mother, holding the baby. You don't go anywhere. Jasmine needs you. I'll go. You sure? Marcus asked. She nodded. I'll find them. You stay here. She kissed her daughter's forehead, then walked out the door with fire in her eyes. Later that night, Jasmine woke up. Her voice was soft, cracked. Is she okay? Marcus brought her the baby, smiling. She's perfect, just like her mama. Jasmine held her daughter and whispered, Her name is Hope. Marcus nodded. Hope Carter. Tears slid down her cheeks. Then she looked up at Marcus. We can't hide forever. I know. They'll keep coming. I'll be ready. Suddenly, Trina rushed into the room, her face pale. Turn on the news. Now. Marcus grabbed the remote and flipped on the TV. A breaking story was on every channel. In a shocking update to the Cold Hollow scandal, newly leaked security footage from Sheriff Grant's office has surfaced online, showing the sheriff engaging in inappropriate behavior with multiple underage girls. They all stared at the screen as blurry but damning footage played. A silent video showing the sheriff kissing a girl not much older than Jasmine, touching her thigh. Then another clip. Another girl. Then another. Jasmine gasped. Who leaked this? Marcus asked. Trina's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You're not alone. Keep going. And then another message. They're coming for the baby next. Jasmine's face drained of color. Marcus jumped to his feet. What? Trina showed him the phone. They know where we are, Jasmine said, clutching Hope tightly. They're going to take her. Outside, tires screeched. Headlights flashed through the windows. Doors slammed. Footsteps. Multiple. Then, bang. The back door burst open. Masked men stormed in, holding rifles. Get down on the ground. Marcus grabbed Jasmine and the baby and dove behind a table. Bullets shattered the walls. Trina screamed. Dr. Levy ducked for cover. One of the men shouted, Hand over the baby or everyone dies. Marcus looked into Jasmine's eyes. She nodded. No matter what happens, she whispered. Don't let them take her. The baby wailed as bullets ripped through the air. Marcus covered Jasmine and the infant with his body, shielding them as wood splinters flew across the room. Trina dragged a filing cabinet down in front of them, adding a small wall of cover. The men outside kept shouting, Give us the baby. Hand her over now. Dr. Levy crawled across the floor to the emergency medical closet. He found an old flare gun, rusty but loaded. We're not giving them anything, Marcus yelled. They'll kill us all, Trina snapped back. No, Jasmine whispered, cradling Hope in her arms. They don't want us dead. They just want her. They want to erase what he left behind. Marcus's blood boiled. He reached behind a broken chair and found a crowbar. Let them come. They're not taking my niece. Suddenly, a smoke canister rolled in through the broken window. It hissed, spitting out thick grey clouds. Everyone started coughing. We have to move, Trina shouted. Marcus held Jasmine's hand. Can you run? She nodded weakly. I'll crawl if I have to. Dr. Levy kicked open the back hallway door. There's a cellar under the building, old church basement. It leads to the woods. Marcus helped Jasmine up. Trina grabbed the baby and wrapped her in a towel. The four of them dashed into the hall just as two masked men burst into the room behind them. They slammed the basement door shut and bolted it with a rusted pipe. "Go!" Marcus shouted, guiding them down the stairs. The cellar smelled like mildew and old earth. Cobwebs clung to the ceiling, and broken pews were scattered across the dirt floor. At the far end, there was a wooden trap door. Dr. Levy pushed it open, revealing a tunnel of dirt and bricks, lit only by glow sticks from who knew how long ago. They entered one by one. Jasmine, holding tight to the baby, Trina behind her, then Dr. Levy. Marcus was last, and he shut the trapdoor above them just as fists began pounding on the door upstairs. The tunnel was tight, forcing them to crawl. Every inch forward was a struggle. Jasmine breathed heavily, sweat pouring from her face. Hope whimpered softly against her chest. "Just a little further," Trina encouraged. "We're almost out." Suddenly they heard it, boots dropping into the cellar. The masked men had found the trap door. "They're in here," a voice shouted behind them. "Move faster," Marcus yelled. They scrambled forward until finally, light ahead. Trina pushed open the exit hatch and climbed out into the fresh air of the woods. Jasmine followed, then Dr. Levy, and finally, Marcus. Behind them, the tunnel echoed with shouts. They ran. Branches scraped their faces. Thorns tore at their clothes. Marcus carried Jasmine when she stumbled. Hope stayed quiet, sensing the urgency in her mother's heartbeat. By the time they reached the car, Trina had hidden in the woods, an old beige SUV. They were all breathless. "Drive!" Marcus barked as they piled in. Trina floored it. Back roads, unmarked trails, long winding paths through trees. It was a maze. But somehow, they weren't being followed. Not yet. An hour later, they reached an empty cabin in the mountains, miles from the nearest town. It was old, dusty, but safe. For now. Everyone collapsed inside. Marcus locked the doors and blocked the windows. Jasmine laid on the couch, clutching Hope, whispering softly to her. "She's still warm," she said, almost to herself. "She's okay." Dr. Levy checked the baby. "Heartbeat strong. She's a fighter." Marcus sat across from her, face dark with anger. They really were going to kill us. For a baby. "Not just any baby," Trina said. "The proof of their crimes, the last trace of what they want the world to forget." "They didn't expect the video to spread so fast," Marcus muttered. "They panicked. Now they want to wipe every trace." Trina looked down at her phone. Jasmine's video has 15 million views. People are talking, journalists are digging, someone leaked those office videos for a reason. There's a crack in their armor. Marcus nodded. "Then we break it wide open." "But how?" Jasmine asked, exhausted. "We've already lost so much." He looked at her, then at Hope. "We make it about more than just the sheriff. We expose the whole system." "Won't that put us in more danger?" Dr. Levy asked. Marcus stood up. "We're already in danger. They came with rifles for a newborn. We've got nothing left to lose." The next day, Trina posted new videos. Marcus reading statements from other girls who had now come forward anonymously. Their stories all echoed Jasmine's. Each had been approached by the sheriff. Some escaped. Some didn't. She also released a file dump. Documents the sheriff kept hidden, showing payments to silence families, forged medical records, backdated school reports. It was a mountain of evidence. It exploded online. Celebrities retweeted it. National news picked it up. Protests spread from Cold Hollow to other cities. Justice for Jasmine was painted on signs and shouted through bullhorns. The governor ordered a full investigation into the sheriff's office, but the enemy wasn't done yet. That night, Trina got another anonymous message. You exposed the cracks. Now the whole house falls. And attached was a video. Jasmine's mother, bound again, bruised, crying. The message, return the baby, or she dies tonight. Jasmine screamed when she saw it. No, 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 no. Marcus clenched his fists. They took her again? Trina examined the video frame by frame. There's a sign in the background. A train crossing. I've seen that before. She pulled up old photos from her journalism work and matched the sign to a rail yard on the edge of Cold Hollow. That's where they're holding her, she said. Marcus grabbed a shotgun from the cabin closet. Then that's where we're going? You'll get killed, Dr. Levy said. Marcus shook his head. Not before I get Mom back. Jasmine grabbed his hand. I'm coming with you. Jasmine, she's my mother, and this ends tonight. Trina looked at both of them. Then I'm coming too, and I'm bringing the cameras. They reached the rail yard just after midnight. Marcus parked a mile away and approached on foot, cutting through bushes and sneaking between freight cars. Jasmine carried Hope in a sling, wrapped tight in blankets. Trina had a drone, ready to film everything. They spotted her, tied to a pole in the center of the yard. Two men stood guard, suits armed, watching in silence. Marcus turned to Jasmine. You circle right, Trina, left. I'll go straight. They moved into position. Suddenly, a light clicked on above them. A spotlight, bright and blinding. A voice boomed from speakers. We told you to bring the child. Marcus stepped into the light. Let her go. You don't give orders, the voice said. You've already lost. Another spotlight snapped on, aimed at Jasmine. No, Marcus shouted. She's just a kid. Then she dies first, the voice said. A sniper appeared on the roof of a warehouse, rifle aimed at Jasmine. Drop the baby, or we fire. Jasmine clutched Hope tighter, shaking with fear. Please don't hurt her. She's just a baby. The sniper's finger curled around the trigger. And then, boom! The sniper's head snapped back. He collapsed. Another gunshot followed, then another. Screams echoed across the yard. From the shadows, figures in riot gear, FBI agents. Drop your weapons, they shouted. The guards opened fire. A full gunfight broke out. Marcus tackled Jasmine to the ground, covering her and the baby. Trina ducked under a train car, drone still flying overhead, capturing everything. FBI agents swarmed the yard, pinning the guards down and surrounding the pole. One of them cut Jasmine's mother loose. She fell into the agent's arms, sobbing. It's over, one of the agents shouted. We've got them. By morning, the story was everywhere. FBI rescues teen and baby from militia group in sheriff's scandal. Hundreds of arrests followed. The mayor, the DA, even the police chief. Taken down. Every girl who had been silenced got justice. And Jasmine, she was offered a full scholarship to Howard University. But she turned it down. Instead, she stayed in Cold Hollow, raising hope and helping other girls speak out. The town changed. A new sheriff, new leaders, and a new law called Hope's Law that gave better protections to abuse victims. Marcus moved back home. Trina won a national award. Dr. Levy opened a clinic named after Jasmine's mum. And Jasmine? She stood on the steps of the courthouse 1 year later, holding Hope in her arms as the crowd cheered. She smiled softly, then leaned down to whisper into her daughter's ear. "You were born in fire, but we turned it into light." The police tape fluttered in the wind, a silent witness to the horror that had unfolded inside the sheriff's cabin. Blood stained the wooden floor and splattered the walls. Sheriff Dale Mitchell's lifeless body lay slumped against the wall, a gun still in his hand, and his face frozen in a mix of pain and something that looked like regret. Detective Carla Jennings stood in the center of the room, taking it all in. Her eyes moved from the sheriff's body to the pool of blood near the fireplace, blood that didn't belong to Dale. They had only found one body, but there was a second victim. Someone else had bled out or been shot. But where was that body? She bent down near the corner and touched the dried smear on the floor. "This blood was dragged," she said. "Someone was injured, maybe killed. But they were moved." Deputy Ronson, still shaking from the whole thing, nodded. "That must have happened before backup arrived." Carla stood. Her mind was racing. 2 people had been in the cabin when the gunshot was heard. Dale Mitchell was one. But who was the other? Outside, search dogs barked wildly as officers combed the woods. Then suddenly one of them shouted, "We've found something!" Carla rushed out and followed the team deep into the trees. There, covered in leaves and branches, was another body, badly bruised and barely recognizable. Carla's heart sank. "Is it Jade?" "No," an officer replied. "It's a male." They flipped the body. Carla gasped. "Eli James, the town's mysterious ex-con, the one who had been sneaking around and threatening the sheriff. But now he was dead too." She turned back toward the cabin. Her heart was pounding. That only left one person unaccounted for. Jade. Hours passed. Helicopters flew overhead. Officers with flashlights searched every ditch, ravine, and dirt road, but Jade Carter had vanished. And then Carla found the first real clue. Back at the station, one of the forensic techs handed her a report. "We analyzed the blood trail from the cabin. There's a second type, female. It's not Jade's." Carla's eyes narrowed. "Then who?" Another officer burst in with a sealed evidence bag. "We found this in the woods. Looks like a phone. It's got dried blood on it." Carla took it. The screen was cracked, but when she powered it on, it lit up. A video was still open on the screen. The video began with heavy breathing and shaky movement. Then the camera turned, and there was Sheriff Mitchell screaming at someone off camera. "You ruined everything," he shouted. "I could have had a family." Another voice, Jade's, pleading, terrified, crying, "Please don't hurt him." The camera panned again, revealing Eli James, tied to a chair, bloodied but still alive. The screen flickered. A loud gunshot. Then screaming. Then silence. The video cut off. Carla's blood went cold. She had just watched Eli's last moments and heard Jade's screams. That meant Jade had been alive when the video was taken. had she escaped? The sheriff had tried to kill Eli and silence Jade. But something had gone wrong. Someone else might have helped her. Carla played the video again and paused at a blurry reflection in a window. A shape, another person, wearing a hoodie. "Run facial analysis," she ordered. "Enhance this." An hour later, the results came back. It was Rachel. As the sheriff's wife, Carla sat back, stunned. She was there. The theory quickly formed. Rachel had found out about the affair. She knew Jade was pregnant. She'd been tracking Dale for weeks, maybe even working with Eli to expose the sheriff. But then, it had all turned violent. Rachel had snapped. Carla put out an alert. Rachel Mitchell, armed and dangerous, accompanied by 17-year-old Jade Carter. By nightfall, an anonymous tip came in. 2 females had been spotted at a truck stop heading toward the state border in a stolen pickup. Carla called in U.S. Marshals. Then, the next morning, the phone rang. They found the truck, an officer said, empty, abandoned at a river bridge near Arizona. Carla rubbed her eyes. "Any signs?" "There's footprints, 2 sets, leading into the desert." Carla looked at the map. They were heading south, toward Mexico. She stood in the quiet of her office, holding the phone Jade left behind. The screen showed a photo. Jade with her growing baby bump, smiling sadly. Sheriff Mitchell's child. There was no justice here, no peace. Only the blood of secrets and the haunting trail of what love, betrayal, and power can destroy. Then, Carla noticed something else in the background of the photo. Rachel standing behind Jade, arms around her, smiling. It wasn't rage. It wasn't revenge. It was something else. Protectiveness. Carla finally understood. Rachel hadn't killed Dale because she hated Jade. She killed him because she loved her. The woman who had taken her husband's heart had somehow stolen hers too. And now, they were both gone, vanished into the desert with a baby born from sin, fear, and survival. But Carla knew one day she'd find them, and when she did, she'd finally hear the rest of the story.